I'm Jack Beck, alongside the Jordan River to talk about consequential transitions in life. I don't know how much you know about the Jordan River. It's a very, very long river that runs for about 65 miles and forms most of the eastern border for the Promised Land. This river looks nothing like the river that was here in Bible times. The Jordan River of Bible times was about 80 to 100 feet wide and about 10 feet deep. And think about that. For people who didn't have bridges and didn't take swimming lessons, that's a non-starter. So if they had to cross the river, they would look for a spot like this, a place that's called a ford, a natural shallowing of the river itself where they could transition across without having to swim. What that means is that along the Jordan River, stories of people tend to collect at river fords. And when I look at this river ford just east of Jericho, what I see is story after story after story with one theme: transition. Some of those transitions are transitions in leadership, like the transition from Moses to Joshua or Elijah to Elisha. At other times, we're looking at transition in mission. This is the place where ancient Israel came across the Jordan River to enter a new phase of their life and ministry on this side of the Jordan. And it's where Jesus himself was baptized and entered a brand new phase of his ministry. You see what I mean? When I come to the Jordan River, I read story after story after story that's about consequential transitions. And it makes me think and reflect on the transitions that I have made in life. You likely don't know that I've gone through a series of professional transitions to get here. I pastored a church, I worked as a flight instructor, I worked as a university professor for 16 years. In every one of those ministries, I was happy and comfortable with who I was. I felt absolutely no need to move. And every time I looked at the move, they looked scary to me. But every time the Lord brought me from one bank of the river to the other, he changed me and used me in a way he couldn't before. And I hope that's helpful for you. Because if you're staring a transition in the face, a transition that looks scary, a transition that looks complicated and uncertain, it could be transition in churches or jobs or some other dimension of life that's causing you some level of anxiety or stress. Whatever that transition is, realize that the Lord is with you and he may be leading you from one bank of the river to the other in order to begin a new phase in your service to the kingdom. I'm just wondering if today the Lord isn't saying to you, it's time to get your feet wet.